This is the case management system as it has been developed up to this point in time. Remember, I told you before that we were working on a technical viable product so that we could actually receive information from the one system. That's the work that has happened so far in the system. We've done work related to being able to populate information that exists in the one system into fields in this case management system. We've also worked through the process of being able to add new clients to the system and work through the process of determining eligibility. But for today, I'm just going to give you a small flavor, a small test of what this looks like. I've landed into the application. It happened to land on the dashboard. There will be dashboards that allow you to see your work that you have been working on. There's all these things can be customized for your specific needs to understand your specific caseload that you're working on. Today, what we're going to look at is an example of me adding a client to the system. So you notice I've clicked on client. I already have 2 clients here, but what I want to do is I want to add a new client. So I've just received a phone call from John Doe. He wants to come in and meet with me to actually apply for DD eligibility and receive services. So what I'm going to do while I have him on the phone is I'm just going to create a quick record for him so that when he comes in, I'll be able to collect additional information and I'm not having to do that all over the phone. So I'm going to go ahead and put in his first name here and his last name, and I'm going to go ahead and save that. Okay. Now that this is saving, I will now be able to do the next step that is going to be the actual intake. So when this individual comes in, if I'm off doing some other work, I could always click back on clients and then go back and click on John Doe and bring up that record again, as you see. But the only thing in this record right now is just his first name and last name. So what I'll want to do is an intake for this individual. So to be able to do an intake for this individual, I would have to go ahead and say new. I want to do a new intake. And I would want to say that I'm applying this guy's name, John, like I already did. All right, last name, Doe, I already did. I save and close. And then what will happen is I'll then be able to go into this individual and take a look at this box that says query prime number. In our one eligibility system, people are associated by prime numbers, as you probably all know, of course. And this is where we would actually be able to query the system, the one system, to say, do you have any information on this individual? So when I talked to John on the phone, I said, when you come in, please bring me your prime number if you happen to have it, right? So he came in and he told me what his prime number was. That's not a valid prime number. This is just for test. And I'm going to go ahead and query. So what it's going to do while in the background, it's going to reach over to the one system and see if it can find that prime number. In this case, it was able to find a record in the one system on John Doe. And what I can do is I can look through this information, and maybe with John right here, I can verify, is this really the John Doe that's sitting in front of me, right? What is your social? What's your date of birth, for example? Is this your address? And they say, yes, those all sound correct. In that case, I can hit confirm and sync. Now, this is just some of the information. I'm confirming the identity. There's a lot of fields that are going to come over from the one system. So as soon as I hit that confirm and sync, you see I get this message up that says a sync process has started. So in the background, what is happening is it's taking all of that information from the one and it's populating it into all of these forms and all of this record for John Doe, so that you will be able to then have all of that information. And notice up here in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see that I got a notification. The one sync has been completed. Now, if I click on view details, all it will do is refresh the screen. I can click on that, or I can come over here and click on refresh as well. Either way, now I have all the information that came from one. Before, you remember, it was just first name, last name. Now take a look at this. I have all of his suffixes. I have the last four of his social. I have his date of birth. I can come over to the demographic tab, and now I have all the demographic information that was in the one system related to his sexual orientation and gender identity. If there's an ethnicity and race that's been designated or entered in the one system, that would come over as well. So we have the client languages. All of this information that existed in the one system is now here, including the client addresses would also be shown here. So it will load any client addresses that are applicable for the individual. If there's a Medicaid eligibility that's already been determined, that would locate on this screen. Once again, this is just test data. We didn't populate all the fields with this test data. We just wanted to illustrate what this would look like from the end user's perspective in the new system. So that's essentially what we wanted to show you today. There is lots more to come as it relates to processes of how you move from now intake into eligibility determination, right? And all the other steps that you guys do. Those are the things that we're working on, and those are the things that we want to absolutely have your guys' feedback and input on. So I'm hoping this was helpful today. Just wanted to spend a few minutes being able to give you the first preview of what we've got so far today.